Imagine a land so vast it spans 11 time zones. A nation forged not by kings or philosophers, but by the sword. This is the story of Russia, born from the clash of Vikings, Mongols, and tyrants. A saga of ambition, blood, and survival. Russia's history is one of survival and expansion, shaped by conquest, tyranny, and resilience. Spanning 11 time zones, its vast territory, from frozen tundras to endless steppes, has been both a blessing and a curse. Unlike Western Europe, protected by natural barriers, Russia's open plains made it vulnerable to invasions, Vikings from the north, Mongols from the east, and internal tyrants who ruled with iron fists. This is not a story of peaceful diplomacy, but of bloodshed, where power was seized by force and maintained through ruthlessness. From scattered Slavic tribes to a nuclear superpower, Russia's ascent was forged in war, rebellion, and suffering. The Viking Foundation, Kievan Rus's 9th to 12th century. In 862 AD, as Western Europe fragmented, Slavic tribes in the east remained divided, locked in endless conflict. Enter the Varangians, Viking traders and warriors who saw opportunity in the river networks linking the Baltic to the Black and Caspian Seas. According to the primary chronicle, the Slavs invited Rurik, a Viking chieftain, to bring order. Whether myth or fact, Rurik's arrival marked the birth of the Rurik dynasty, which ruled Russia for over 700 years. Establishing Novgorod as his stronghold, Rurik merged Viking leadership with Slavic traditions, creating a structured state. Unlike other Viking conquerors, the Varangians assimilated quickly, adopting Slavic customs and language. Oleg the Prophet and the rise of Kiev. When Rurik died in 879, his kinsman Oleg took power, ruling as regent for the young Igor. Unlike Rurik, Oleg aimed higher, control of the Varangian to Greek trade route, linking Scandinavia to Byzantium. In 882, he sailed south to Kiev, then ruled by rival Varangians Askold and Dir. Through deception, luring them with false promises of trade, Oleg ambushed and killed them, seizing the city. Recognizing Kiev's strategic value, he declared it the mother of Russian cities and made it his capital. Over the next 3 decades, Oleg expanded Kievan Rus, subjugating Slavic tribes like the Drevlians and Radomiks, turning tribute into wealth. Christianization under Vladimir the Great, 980 to 1015. Vladimir the Great elevated Kievan Rus further by adopting Orthodox Christianity in 988, a decision shaped by politics and faith. Faced with competing religions, Islam, Judaism, Catholicism, he chose Byzantium's orthodoxy after his envoys marveled at the Hagia Sophia's splendor. The conversion secured a marriage alliance with Emperor Basil II's sister, Anna, boosting Rus's prestige. Vladimir enforced the new faith ruthlessly. Pagan idols were thrown into the Dnieper, and mass baptisms followed. Golden Age and fragmentation. Under Yaroslav the Wise, 1019 to 1054, Yaroslav, Vladimir's son, presided over Kievan Rus's Golden Age. He created Russia's first law code, Russkaya Pravda, built the St. Basil Cathedral, Sofia Cathedral, and married his daughters to European kings, linking Ruses to France, Hungary, and Norway. Kiev flourished as a cosmopolitan hub, rivaling Paris in size and wealth. But the Rurikid inheritance system, dividing land among all sons, doomed the realm. By the 12th century, rival principalities, Novgorod, Suzdal, Galicia, emerged, weakening unity. Princes fought each other, hiring Cuman nomads as mercenaries. The Mongol storm, 1223 to 1240. In 1223, Russian princes faced their first Mongol encounter at the Battle of the Khalkha River, where a smaller Mongol force under General Jabi annihilated a combined Russian-Cuman army. The Mongols fought unlike any European foe, using feigned retreats, deadly archery, and psychological terror. After victory, they crushed captured Russian princes under wooden platforms while feasting above them. Yet, the fractured Russian principalities ignored the warning, returning to infighting. In 1237, Batu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, launched a full-scale invasion with the Golden Horde. The siege of Ryazan marked the beginning. After the prince refused to surrender his family as concubines, the Mongols slaughtered the entire population. Russia under the Mongol yoke, 1240 to 1480. The Mongols imposed a ruthless bureaucratic system, extracting wealth through tribute, yasak, and deportations. Russian princes had to journey to Sarai, the Golden Horde's capital, to kowtow before the Khan and receive their yarlik, charter of rule. Those who resisted were executed. Compliant rulers kept their thrones but as Mongol vassals. The tribute system was brutally efficient. Households were taxed, artisans enslaved, and entire villages emptied if they couldn't pay. Muslim tax collectors, baskaki, enforced Mongol demands, often with cruelty. Yet the Pax Mongolica enabled some trade along the Silk Road, enriching a few Russian merchants. Moscow's rise. Moscow's ascent from a burned-out Mongol vassal to Russia's dominant power was not through rebellion but collaboration. Unlike defiant principalities that faced annihilation, Moscow's princes, starting with Daniel Alexandrovich, late 13th century, mastered the art of serving the Golden Horde too well. Their strategy: become indispensable. Even Kalita, Moneybag, 1325 to 1340, perfected this. As the Mongols' chief tribute collector, he extracted wealth from other Russian principalities, skimming profits to buy land, bribe Mongol officials, and build a covert army. Moscow's geography aided its rise, protected by forests yet central to trade routes. By convincing the Orthodox Church to move its seat to Moscow, Ivan made the city Russia's political and spiritual heart. The tipping point came under Dmitry Donskoy, 1359 to 1389. In 1380, he shattered Mongol invincibility at the Battle of Kulikovo, though the Horde retaliated by sacking Moscow in 1382. Ivan the Terrible, the Mad Tsar, 16th century, Ivan IV's reign, 1530 to 1584, was forged in blood and paranoia. Orphaned at age 8 after his mother's poisoning, he grew up amid boyar, noble feuds, witnessing betrayals and murders. By 13, he fed a rival prince to hunting dogs, a warning to all. In 1547, Ivan declared himself Tsar, Caesar, claiming divine right. His early reign, influenced by his beloved wife Anastasia Romanovna, saw reforms like legal codes and a standing army. But his suspicion and cruelty festered. After Anastasia's death, 1560, likely poisoned, Ivan spiraled into paranoia, launching the Oprichnina, 1565 to 1572, a state within a state where his black-clad Oprichniki terrorized traitors. Reform and terror Ivan IV's early reign, 1547 to 1560, was marked by progressive reforms that modernized Russia. His chosen council introduced sweeping changes. Military, created the Streltsy, Russia's first professional standing army, armed with firearms. Legal, the Sudebnik of 1550 standardized laws, reducing boyar corruption. Administrative, weakened hereditary nobility, mestnichestvo, in favor of merit-based appointments. Expansion, conquered Kazan, 1552, and Astrakhan 1556, securing the Volga trade route and opening Asia to Russia. This good period saw Western influence flourish. Italian engineers fortified cities, German gunsmiths improved artillery, and English traders established direct commerce. Yet Ivan's stability relied on his wife, Anastasia Romanovna. Her death in 1560 triggered his descent into paranoia and tyranny. Russia's Reign of Terror, 1565 to 1572. In 1565, Ivan launched the Oprichnina, a secret police state that split Russia into Oprichnina, Ivan's personal domain, policed by black-clad Oprichniki, dog-head and broom insignia, sniff out and sweep away treason. Zemshina, the rest of Russia, left to rot under neglected administration. The Oprichniki terrorized the nobility, seizing estates, torturing traitors, and turning families against each other. The worst atrocity was the 1570 Novgorod massacre. After rumors of rebellion, Ivan razed the city, slaughtering tens of thousands in grotesque ways: burnings, drownings, mass executions. Legacy of madness. Ivan's later years were marked by incoherent tyranny. He killed his heir, Ivan Ivanovich, in a fit of rage, 1581, triggering the time of troubles. Russia was left economically broken, politically fractured, yet centrally controlled, a template for future autocrats. His reign embodied Russia's paradox, modernizing reforms paired with medieval brutality, a pattern that would echo for centuries. The ultimate crime, Ivan's dynastic suicide. In his final years, Ivan the Terrible became a broken tyrant, haunted by his own atrocities. His Oprichnina terror had failed, his wars had bled Russia dry, and his paranoia left him utterly alone except for his heir, Tsarevich Ivan Ivanovich, who dared to challenge his father's cruelty. On November 16, 1581, Ivan committed his most catastrophic act, killing his own son. In a fit of rage over his daughter-in-law's clothing, he struck the Tsarevich with his iron staff, inflicting a fatal head wound. The prince died days later, leaving Ivan shattered, who had massacred thousands now, wept over the one death he couldn't rationalize. Russia's peril and destiny. Ivan's death marked the end of medieval Russia and the dawn of empire. But first, the country had to survive its own unraveling. Yet from this chaos emerged the Romanov dynasty, 1613, which would guide Russia to global power. The lessons of Ivan's reign, autocracy, ruthlessness, strategic patience, became Russia's DNA. Russia's rise was no accident. Geography and resources helped, but its true strength came from a national character forged in survival. The result? A civilization that turns catastrophe into expansion, suffering into strength, and never stops pushing until it dominates or is destroyed.